Hi, good evening. Welcome back to Heart Talk, coming to you every Monday evening at 10 p.m. from the Heart Knocks Training Center in Malaysia. Tonight we have another conversation, or another rare opportunity to catch Kathy in between her busy schedule. And we're going to start talking about a survival context. And let's see where it gets us. So perhaps, Kathy, I could ask you to begin by putting in perspective what's this thing about survival context.
Okay, so I say that the trainings are about living a life without regret. And that if you ask someone, do you want a life without regret? Most people are not going to say no. It's not really a question to say no to.
Yes.
Some people might think they cannot have one, but I don't think people would say they do not want one. So then the question is, well, then why do most people not have one, right? And why do I say most people do not have one? So I had a friend who was an emergency room nurse in a heart ward at UCLA in the U.S. And she said that she ended up doing transformational trainings, but before she did the training, in her job, she's trying to save a patient. She's doing the task of her job. And she would do what she could, and sometimes they saved the patient, and sometimes they didn't. And then she'd move on to the next one. She said after she did transformational work, and she had this different perspective about what a life means, not just her clinical training, she started to notice that she felt like the rooms were filled with regret. The rooms of these people. She said not only them, the people that were facing that they might be dying, but also the people in relationship with them. She said, she would hear people saying, I never said this, or I should have spent more time, or why didn't I? And the people themselves, of course, now facing that this could be the end, it gives you a different perspective on how you've lived, right? So she said that, and because of doing this work and doing a lot of studying of philosophy and this and that, I was thinking, so what does make a life without regret? And sort of what is the percentage of people that we could say are really living that way? And I think people have estimated it's a pretty small percentage, maybe 2 to 5%, that really could say deep down, no regrets. And so in the training, we address something called survival context.
Right.
And so we are wired as human beings. The base of our brain is primitive. And the point of it is survival.
Right.
And I'll tease people in the training, it's not live life to the fullest. It's get back in the cave at the end of the day and you were not eaten.
Okay.
Literally, that's what it is.
Yes.
It's, so we, in our biological nature, the point is to continue, not to live life to the fullest. In fact, living life to the fullest could threaten continuing.
Yes.
In our biological nature.
That's right, yes.
So wired into us in the primitive part of our brain, which is the first piece of brain that any information would go through. So it's going to be the immediate thing that is dictating.
That's the first gate, is it?
Yes, it's the first gate. Yeah. Great way to put it, yeah. So we have 4, what we call in the training, senior commitments. Senior meaning they're the most important, they're above all, right? And the first one is to look good at all costs. And looking good is about approval and belonging.
How come it's not about staying alive as the foremost?
It is. All the 4 commitments are about staying alive.
You mean it translates into that?
Yes.
That's interesting, right?
Yes, because, and we could look at each commitment and we could say, and by the way, they're not in order.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's not the first senior commitment it's there's just 4.
One set of them.
Yeah, and that's just the first one we share. So how is this about staying alive? We could ask about each one, which would probably be an interesting thing to ask. Yeah. So the first one is approval and belonging. And we can see how those play out in our different cultures. The need for approval, the ways we design our life to get approval from others and to stay within their approval. And so this is about not being kicked out of the cave, in a sense. So,
because that would mean you're dead. Yeah,
literally dead.
Right,
You're, if if your community isn't keeping you safe, they kick you out. You're in the wilderness now,
That's
right?
Yeah.
And we can say this is literal and metaphorical.
Yes.
Yeah. So number 2 is about being right. And I think we can see how being right plays out in the world. We have every single war is a be right on both sides. And so being right, it's like my idea is right, my way is right. It gives us some sense of stability and security, predictability in a world that's way not predictable.
Right.
Like if human beings stop to think about our lives and how unpredictable they are, we would be in a panic.
Yes. Yeah. I've tried that thought experiment.
Yes. Like literally, if we just knew what our body is doing every moment to keep us alive, and that one small thing could make it all go wrong.
The whole thing,
Yeah. So I think unconsciously we do know we're on a planet spinning in space.
That's right. Yeah.
So we have a sense. The animal body, in a sense, I'm going to say it this way, knows we are in danger in almost every moment, really.
Yeah.
And so our brain had to adapt something to keep us from feeling that in every moment, or we would either freeze, or we'd always be fighting or go cuckoo. Yeah. So being right gives me this sense that I know.
I'm okay.
I'm okay. Not only okay, it plays out in I'm better than you.
That's right.
I know more than you. I'm more right than you. And so I think about that sometimes. I recently heard someone say that the reason we do that is in nature, you need to be stronger than the other to survive.
Yeah.
To stay alive.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
So if you can make people weaker than you, even in just your language and your belief system, then you feel safer. Yeah.
As long as you feel in any way better.
Yes. So we, again, we start wars for this. I mean, it's insane what we've done on Earth to be right, what a human being or group of people have done to be right. We do it in our own relationships and our closest relationships. So that is one. And then third is to be in control. And similar need, I feel like I can control, since I know I'm out of control in so many ways, I look for the things I feel like I can control, including people I'm in relationship with.
Right.
So I don't lose them or lose what we have or lose my status. And then the final one is to avoid pain. And avoiding pain is about safety and comfort. So, it's mostly we avoid emotional pain in many of our family systems, cultures, etc.
Because our feeling of safety is emotional, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not physical.
Yes, because you could have
physical.
perceptive.
You could have physical safety and still have nightmares of danger.
Yes. Yeah, projected danger while you're in the safest place in the world. And I think we do have projected danger as well as, whatever we think the real danger is. So those are our senior commitments. Okay, so let's play with, that's how the brain is wired. All of those make sense.
All right.
If you have emotional pain, let's just say, for example, you let yourself feel emotional pain. Well, now you could say you're kind of not well armed for the dangers of the world. You're not suited up. You're kind of in a vulnerable position. Yes. Yeah. And so now I have to stuff my feelings, suppress my feelings, just be strong. We even tell people, be strong.
Yes.
Yeah. And so now let's say I can have a life without regret, but can I have it from that context?
Yes.
Those don't go together. They really will not go together. I think if you look at some of the people in the world that we would say lived a life without regret, or that, kind of life we would look up to that way. I think of artists. So an artist really has to kind of break out of looking good at first, a lot of them at least, if they're really artists, because it's not, or a leader, because what they are going to do, by definition, is going to challenge the status quo. And so it's not going to look good. They're going to have pain because they'll be ridiculed and rejected. Henry David Thoreau, who is one of the philosophers who talked a lot about life without regret, he actually went into the woods for years to be with himself about what is it to be a human being, what is the potential of being human. And he went into the woods because he wanted to take himself out of the what we call in the training the drift of society, which is how we all act.
The default.
The default, the norms of, right? He wanted to take himself out of that because he thought, I can't see what's possible
while I'm in that.
When I'm in that, And they said, the last thing he said before he died was no regrets. I mean, I don't know how they came about. So no regrets, like literally his last two words. He was ridiculed. He was rejected by his community. He had to go through a lot to even live that way. So most of us are not going to pay those prices, right? We want to be approved of by our community, our family, etc. So
hold on, wasn't he the guy who wrote something like most men live lives of quiet desperation?
He might have been. I think he was, yes. I think he was. Yes, most men live lives of quiet desperation. Yeah. So how did he see that? Well, he saw that because he took himself out of what we sometimes call the rat race, right? We are kind of like sometimes hamsters on wheels. I feel like even in 21st century more, because there's so much more information coming at us. Life is changing at such a fast pace. To keep up, it takes so much of our energy and our focus. And so to take ourselves out of that, to say, not how am I living, but how do I really want to live? I'm so busy going after what I think I should, I don't necessarily ask myself, what do I want to go after? And so, given that we're wired for survival, we are not wired to live without regret. The first time I realized that in my mind, it was like, wow, that's powerful, right? We're wired to get back in the cave. And that is not going to lead to a life without regret. Yeah. And something interesting, don't know why this popped into my head, but it might be interesting. So because of this, the way we're wired and that it's unconscious, right? We don't get up in the morning and go, I'm going to look good today.
That's right.
Although we do things to look good.
To look good, we
right?
Pretty ourselves up.
We pretty ourselves up. We do cosmetic surgery. I don't want to get older. Whatever the things we do, I'll carry around a $5,000 bag because that's a reflection of myself and all that, right? So it's not conscious to us, but we're driven by it. What ends up happening is we also want the people around us to stay down because it's threatening if they go up, right? If they start to get outside of survival context, it threatens the survival context. So it's so interesting. We have a metaphor we sometimes use of Mexican crabs. So there's a certain type of crab. The way the crab catchers get them is they put them on flat plates, and they're right by the ocean. They could simply go back. But if you put two on a plate and one tries to get free, the other one pulls them back. That gives me the chills every time I say that. So as human beings, we do that to each other. And I believe parents unconsciously do it to children.
Because they love them.
Because they
love them.
Yes, because I love you. I'm going to, bring you back in here
Keep you safe. Keep you safe.
And keep in mind, the crabs aren't safe. They're about to get made into dinner.
So they don't see it that way.
Right. And so are we safe? I mean, we're safe, but we're not free. Right? So the crab could go back to freedom, but we don't want each other to do that. So we'll do that in our most intimate relationships. Keep each other in the survival context.
So, okay, so let's go back to life without regret.
Okay.
One could imagine some people say, I've got to do everything I got to do, bucket lists and stuff like that. Would that be the way of looking at it?
I hate bucket lists.
I thought you might.
I'm glad you brought up bucket list. I loved the movie because I think it was a very tender, sweet movie.
Oh, that was a good movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hate the idea of bucket list. And when I see people write that, it's so funny because I'm not sure. I felt an immediate sort of body reaction to that. I don't think I really analyzed it out. But I thought about, so I think there's a couple of things. So a list of things to do is not a life without regret. You've seen miserable people on vacation, right? You see a family, they probably spent a lot of money, saved a lot of money to go on vacation, and everybody's just miserable because I don't know, what did they think the vacation was going to take away all of the other stress of their life? Or so for me...
So would the bucket list be another version of I want to be better than others?
Oh, it very well could be.
That could be for some people.
Yes. Or ticking off a list that shows that I've done well, right? And even to myself.
Yes.
Yeah. One of the things that I think has happened in this world where there's so much information now, and I feel like there's a saying that, I don't know if it's worldwide, but go big or go home.
Yes.
I hate that saying.
I think almost everyone's heard that.
Yeah. Go big or go home. Okay, so the small moments of life are meaningless, right? I have to be the best. Mm-hmm. That really, I think, came out of a survival context that is trying maybe to bring people up to their potential. But not everybody can be the best on any given day. I mean, it's kind of an insane notion to think we can. And so then, is the person who collects trash less worthy than a CEO of a company? Mm. Can they not live a life without regret? Mm. I mean, I'm going to say in a weird sort of way, I actually think someone without all the trappings of what we think makes us successful probably has an easier road to a life without regret, because I don't think all those trappings ultimately lead us there. Mm. In a way, I think the way we've used all those trappings, they distract us from realizing internally we don't feel like we've arrived somewhere. So if I keep putting things out here that show I can sort of mitigate my discomfort. I can make myself feel okay, even though if the truth be told and I stop and think about it, am I living without regret? And I really think about it? No, right? These things that I thought would bring me happiness, they are not. Maybe they're even stressing me out more.
Yeah.
So I think a bucket list it's kind of a trap for another reason too. Someday I'm going to do the things that are
this thing that would then complete.
Yes, yeah.
Complete my...
And I'm going to put it off as long as it's before I die, as if we know when that will be. It kind of implies, of course, in the movie the man did theoretically know. So it kind of implies that we know how much time we have, which in itself I think is a trap.
And so a life without regret happens just before death or when?
That's a
you
really
get what I mean? Because
yeah.
you started talking, you mentioned this friend who was working in this, in the ER.
Yeah.
You know? Is that where the question is asked?
I think, unfortunately, a lot of people ask it there. Yeah. They say that when people get a life sentence, I'm going to call it, which isn't what we call it, right? They find out they might be terminal.
Right.
That for the majority of people, there's a sudden awakening, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone, interestingly, right? Some people don't have this awakening because I think if you're too much in the survival context, you deal with a death sentence.
With another event.
Yes.
Yeah,
that you're going to look good, be in control, be right, avoid pain.
And even more so, perhaps.
Yes, because now the stakes have gone up. Yeah. So if you have this awakening because you hear that you might be dying, So that kind of implies we haven't asked the question all along.
That's right. It's a surprise question.
And why, right?
Yeah.
It is a surprise question. Like, I feel like in kindergarten we should be going, okay, let's talk about a life without regrets instead of 1 + 1 = 2.
Right.
Or in addition to. So I often say we should have survival context conversation in school when kids are old enough to understand it. Yeah, so I think we sometimes wait, again, for that crashing that we talked about in a different podcast, so that we sort of ask this question. But obviously it's too late at that point. And I think on people's deathbed, they have those conversations they've never had.
Yes.
Right? But I also hear of people, and this is giving me the chills right now, who want to have it and they don't. Not the person who died, but let's say a father's dying and the son, I've never told him I loved him, or I've never forgiven him. And then they say, I didn't do it. I wanted to, but I didn't do it. And so I would ask myself, how could that happen? How is that even a possibility? They consciously know they want to have it. They know they have no time, and still they don't have it. And that shows you how powerful survival context is. Because in that moment, either they wanted to look good or avoid pain or something like that. I think it's important to understand this is wired into our body. This isn't a thought that you can just change. Yeah. And that illustrates how powerful that is. You know, somebody will say, I wanted to hug my dad and I went to hug him, but I didn't. They sometimes give an excuse. He was too busy, or I didn't want to do this or that. And what explains it is the survival context. So, yeah, so obviously if you wait till that moment, you've waited much too long. And then what happens is it's just one more regret. Yeah. Yeah. And then for you and maybe the other people who don't do what they wanted to do. Yeah, so it's a question that it would be wonderful if we were being educated in as soon as that could make sense to us. And I think if we were raised by people who were living that way, which I feel my dad was, he was living that way. And he wasn't collecting a bunch of accomplishments at all.
That's right. That would be the bucket list approach, right?
Yeah. He was.
How could I regret? Because I've got all this stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And what a tragedy if you ticked off all those things and you were at that moment realizing
there's another list.
I didn't make it, right? Because that wasn't it.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, that wasn't it.
So the bucket list is a real setup. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, again, I just viscerally, I reacted to that. Yeah. I don't think it's bad, of course, for people to say, this is a dream I have in life to visit this place, right? But don't start a list of things that are, it's like, this is when I'm really living, when I'm doing these things. What about this morning breakfast with your child?
That's right, yeah.
Right?
That doesn't count because it's not Mount Kilimanjaro.
Yes. The go big or go home is also such a setup. It's, there's times when I go outside and I see a tree glittering in the sunlight and the way the air is on my face, and it's like bliss. Yeah. And I've heard some people say, some teachers, mentors, and I think spiritual traditions, Buddhism and different spiritual traditions, that could be our life. I mean, the human beings are meant to feel joy and bliss. Yes. In our biggest possibility. Every moment we could be feeling that way. That isn't even our measuring stick, let alone us getting there. We don't even go that far, right? It's like, today I want to be less miserable than I was yesterday, or less stressed than I was yesterday, etc. So it's kind of interesting to go, what is our measuring stick even? And our measuring stick itself comes inside of the survival context unless you can somehow get out of it.
Yeah. Measure exists in the survival context. It's comparison. It's
it's
a need to know. It's a need to
look good, get status,
feel ahead.
Yes, yeah. And then so it sort of begs the question: well, how would you get out of the survival context, right? So we also have a part of our brain that is So the primitive part of our brain, I believe it's 100,000 years old, if I'm correct. I'm not sure, so somebody could look it up.
They call it the reptilian brain.
Yes,
right?
yes. There is a higher part of our brain, neocortex, which gives human beings potential that most animals do not have. But again, we're run by the primitive brain, right? So how do you get out of you can't get out of the primitive brain, right? If you got out of it, you'd be
dead.
Dead,
basically,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, basically.
But you can get to a point where it doesn't run you. And I mean, there's many ways, but of course, the way I've chosen to facilitate that is the trainings. Because without realizing it, I believe the people that created this so many years ago, what they were doing was creating an environment where people could get out of the survival context running them. Yeah. And now neuroscience is backing up the work we've been doing before neuroscience was backing it up.
That's right. Yeah.
Which to me is brilliant. You know, I feel like, where did these people get this?
In a survival context, we're ahead.
We're better.
But that does creep in, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I do believe, I always say this, I don't know how, I'm going to say this in a way of, I feel like human beings are automatically run by what I'm going to call ego.
Yeah.
Which is survival context. If we can say that's the survival context. And let's say if we're run by heart or love versus ego, that we're not doing that I'm better thing. No. The I'm better, I'm ahead. And the ego is seductive. It is seductive. And I think we have more practice in it. It's more automatic. We have more practice in it. So I feel like what the work has been for me for many years is living in the energy of love versus the energy of ego. And when I am in that energy, that things are pure and there is no me and you separate from each other. It literally is, we're in this together.
Right.
And Earth is so, we are in this together, but we don't get that. Right? I mean, we are so unconscious and blind to that, to the point where we might take all of ourselves down together. While saying, we beat you. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there was some optimism or some realization when they took that first photo of Earth from outer space.
Yes.
And was it Carl Sagan who named it the pale blue dot?
Yes, yes. Yeah, and they said that the astronauts had a spiritual experience, really.
There are no boundaries.
Yes.
That was one of the...
Yes.
One of the things.
Where's customs?
Yeah.
I don't see them. Yeah. Yeah, we literally could look at how survival context plays out on every level, right? With countries. And inside of our own country, we're playing, I'm right, you're wrong.
And
I win, you lose.
You take it down, it's inside the family too.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Most intimate relationships. Yeah. I think we learn in our childhood, because of being right and because of the survival context, we sort of get a template of, I was either right because I was winning at the game that culture designed for me. So for example, in my family actually didn't care about whether my brother and I got A's or B's or whatever. Because again, my dad was very liberal and kind of, but the school system did.
Yes.
So, and we had to, we want to belong within that. So I was an A student. So I was the one winning.
Right.
He is brilliant. My brother's brilliant, but not book smart and not test smart. So he was not brilliant in the school system.
Right.
And unconsciously, I didn't realize I was winning in that system and he was losing. And it's how I got my approval and belonging.
Yeah.
So it actually became the way I operated in relationship was I win, you lose, totally unconscious to me. And the way he operated was I lose, I let the other person win. Ironically, that's the way he won. The only way he could win was by losing.
To look at it that way.
Yeah. So I think that happens. We get into an operating system of either win, lose, or lose, win. And then that unconsciously becomes the way we operate in every relationship, even with our children. Yeah. So that's how powerful survival context is.
Is there anything positive you could say about the survival context then?
It got us where we are.
Yeah.
It saved us. I actually believe that in childhood, we're little beings in a really big world, sometimes hostile world, right? Sometimes our family systems, there's hostility or chaos. Certainly in school, people have been bullied.
Yep.
They don't belong. They're rejected. I wasn't the homecoming queen, which was the ultimate, right?
Approval.
So literally survival context saved us so to make sure that we look good, be right, be in control, avoid pain, it allowed us to get to this moment. So whatever moment we're in right now, a child can die just from rejection.
Yes.
That's a fact, not
That's
a metaphor.
right.
Okay.
That's right. Yep.
So the fact that I am not dead as an adult, the survival context is responsible
Stepped in
for that.
Because if it were only that, then you would not be here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I actually say to the people in the training, thank your survival context. I don't say it that way, but pretty much for getting you here. The only thing is, it can't get you to life without regret. So it got us to here. Now let's have something bigger running us, right? We don't need that to be the compass anymore, even though it's still going to be there. Because might there be times, like if I'm in a dark alley and somebody is running at me with a knife.
You better have your survival context.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to turn around and go, I love you, you know what I mean? So I want to run or defend myself. So it's necessary, but not sufficient.
Okay, necessary but not sufficient.
Yeah.
So survival is got you here.
Yes.
But it's not the meaning of life.
Yes. Yes. And survival context, if it is the driver, you will be on your deathbed with regrets. Yeah.
If you still,
Yeah. If you're lucky enough to be on your deathbed, some people, they're just gone.
Yeah, they're just gone before.
Yeah. There wasn't that moment of reckoning. I mean, I don't know if.
So it must be a very fast movie to run.
Yes, yeah. While the aneurysm is, whatever the thing is, quick movie. Yeah. So, if that's the driver, then the experience or the results of life are determined to fit into that context, right?
So, living without regret and the survival context, they're not mutually exclusive, are they?
No, because you're not going to take out that part of your brain.
Correct.
It's so that it's not running you. You're using it. It's not using you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's quite something. Again, why when I was in the training, to me that was a miracle because I was a psychology student. And in psychology, the model is that my past influences my future. I cannot get away from my past. I can adapt. I can, whatever. It's like if I have the engine of my train in a caboose, the caboose is going to come with me for the rest of my life.
And you can't unhook.
Right.
It's that baggage, carriage that follows your engine. Yeah.
And with human beings, what happens is the caboose kind of becomes the engine in the sense that it's driving where I'm going. Right. It's choosing where I'm going based on what happened in my past. So when you can unhook the past from the present and future, that's a kind of miracle. I feel like it's what different meditation traditions are intending to do, for example, is that you're getting present so you're not...
detaching.
Yes, yeah, but detached sounds bad in a way, right? But right, so it's not influencing you so much. And meditation is amazing. I meditate. I don't meditate daily, but I meditate. I love it. I've had periods of time where I meditate daily. It's the long game. And I think add it into your life because it does many things. Like it creates a pause button when you're wanting to react, for example. It gets you really present instead of all distracted. And it's the long game. And again, we don't know that we have the long game. And if we're living in the survival context and being right and being in control and avoiding pain, also what is the destruction that's happening in while we're waiting
in the meantime,
for something to shift.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people destroy relationships with their own family members unconsciously again, right? In that context.
So when you say meditation, it's more of a timeout, right? It's not like it's a magic thing.
Yes.
It will solve any problems.
Yes. So, yeah, it's a timeout. I mean, yeah, there's lots of traditions and there's lots of purposes for it. But let's say in a practical way, I literally say it's like a pause button because the way our brain is wired, it's wired so that we are protecting ourselves lightning fast.
It's a constant buzz.
Yeah.
We're monitoring for danger all the time. It never stops, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And if we see something that looks like danger, which to the brain could be many, many things, we react in a self-protection way. And it's so fast that we did not choose that reaction. And this, again, proven by neuroscience. And neuroscience or brain science used to think that we were basically stuck in that pattern because they used to think after a certain age the brain wasn't.
Oh, yeah, the old belief was you cannot get new brain cells, so you better stop drinking alcohol because when the cells are killed, it's not replaced.
Yeah. And that our brain...
And it's fixed.
Yes.
And our brain is fixed.
We get neural patterns that are fixed forever, almost like they're concrete.
Yeah.
And now they know that they are not concrete. They can shift. So I think something like meditation, when you're about to go into reaction, there's just a moment where you can pause. And if there's a moment where you can pause, you can make a choice. If you don't have the pause, you didn't choose.
So you're automaton.
Yeah.
So what they call neuroplasticity and all that new
that's
stuff.
Right. Neuroplasticity. Yeah. If I was back in college, I probably would study neuroscience. Like if I was starting from fresh, that's what I would probably study. But I'm glad I didn't because I think academics was going to be my comfort zone way to live life.
Right.
And when that wasn't working and I came into this work, this is definitely not the comfort zone of life. No. Yeah. This was very risky and full of anxiety. I was a very shy person, so getting up in front of people and leading or facilitating anything was very scary. So I'm glad it didn't happen, but I think neuroscience is fascinating.
It's amazing.
And it's just proving out why this work that we do works. Yeah, and how powerful it can be. And for me, it's so powerful because it is, it's not a magic pill. It's not like the Matrix, but it's a little bit like the Matrix where suddenly you see, oh, what I thought life was isn't what it is. But it's certainly faster than, people going to a cave for 20 years to meditate and suddenly they get enlightenment or something, right? And none of us are going to do that.
No.
Yeah. I might want to, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
shifting from the survival context to a life without regret. What's the first step?
Wow. Well, I feel like the first step is something, there's many paths, right? I guess there's probably good kinds of therapy that lead people. Great coaching where the person themselves is not just in the survival context coaching. There's many different roads. There's now a lot of embodiment practices where you're just getting out of your brain, which is primarily where survival is operating, right, is here. So if you can get where this isn't just automatically and unconsciously dictating things to you, meditation, so there's many paths. And I feel like the reason transformation is such a powerful path, it almost feels like it directly was addressing that we're run by survival context and ways to get out of it. So I guess the first step is to realize that it exists.
Awareness.
Yeah, awareness that the survival context exists. And then watch yourself, start watching. Where do you see those things showing up? I believe if we want to see it, we will see it. It's pretty threatening to the survival context to see that you're in the survival context. So it's kind of, I can't remember what it's called, the snake that eats its tail. It's called something.
Starts with O-U.
Occam's razor?
No. another name.
Oh,
But anyway,
okay. But it might be an Occam's razor
Yeah,
thing too. I don't know.
yeah.
It just popped in my head. But it's kind of, the survival context doesn't want you to see you're in it. But I believe that if people are aware of it, okay, where am I wanting to look good, be right, and you start noticing that you will see it. And I also feel like people that are going to get to this point in the podcast have some curiosity about life and themselves and how they could live. There's enough of that they want the awareness.
Yeah.
I think if somebody is very deep and lost in survival context, they won't even be drawn to things like this.
So this will be something we talked about previously about being interrupted.
Yes.
Yeah.
This podcast itself can be an interruption in just the automatic daily, this is how it's always going to be. Yeah, and again, film, literature, a person who sparks the flame. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so I think that's as far as we can take it for today. We could talk forever, right?
Yes, definitely.
If we go in a half an hour, we'll solve all the problems in the world.
Yes, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us tonight, being with Kathy Benson and myself at Heart Talk, coming to you every Monday at 10 p.m. from the Hard Knocks Training Center, Malaysia. So we're going to say goodnight now and hope you'll join us at the next podcast. If you have any comments, just put them in the comment section and we will make sure we get back to you. So Kathy, thank you.
Thank you.
And I had a good time. I
Thank
didn't know
you,
it
me
was
too.
40 minutes already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Good night.